Today I am celebrating World Space Week, which in the tradition of these 365 festivals I'm celebrating, I'm a little bit ambivalent about the exploration of space. Now, I am very grateful for a lot of what we have been able to learn from travelling into space, for the telescopes that we have been able to launch, for the materials that we've been able to test. We have undoubtedly learned a lot about what it is to be alive through our adventures into space, and yet, goodness knows how much we have invested, or should I say wasted, materially speaking, in order to pursue those adventures. You know, if all the money from the space programs had been consecrated to feeding everybody on this planet, we could be living in a completely different world. If we were taking those investments in space and rather than littering the skies with space debris and redundant satellites, obscuring the night sky with the reflections from the things that we've been putting up there, we would be able to focus our attention on this planet, the planet that we grew out of. I do empathise with the idea that should something happen to the Earth, then it would be good for human civilization to have become a space-bearing species. It does extend the possibility for consciousness to continue beyond the lifespan of this planet and of indeed our civilization. And let's face it, it looks as though we may be endangering of curtailing our own time here on this planet. So space has enabled a great deal. It may yet enable a lot more, and yet it is also costing us. Now, my own personal experience or my own personal feeling is that I'm a Gaian. I was born out of this planet. I'm made of the dust of this planet. I wouldn't like to take a spaceship out of here. I believe it's my destiny to live and die on this planet, to be part of this ecosystem, to be part of this environment. I would rather say goodbye to the departing spaceships and and to be able to return to the dust of this planet than to depart and head off into the inky blackness of the infinite beyond. Well, a friend of mine would argue about it being infinite, but anyway, as far as we can see, it may as well be. Now, the exploration of space has taught us so much about ourselves here on this planet. Space is, of course, the domain of the stars and the planets, and I'm someone who's learning the significance, the incredible alchemical relationship between us and the constellations that seem to surround us, the movements of the planets. There's undeniable links between celestial bodies and how they mirror our life here on planet Earth. So space is something which to me represents unending mystery. It is something undoubtedly beautiful to explore, and yet maybe to a point. Maybe there's a limit from which we cease to really gain that much value. Like, yeah, well, who am I to judge? Apart from me, this human being speaking to you now into this camera. It's funny how little time I've spent looking up into space in the course of my 50 years on this planet. When we think that every night people fell asleep looking up at the stars, gazing into the mystery of what it is that we're looking at. I enjoyed falling asleep on the forest floor looking up at the stars just a week ago. It's a wonderful thing. Sometimes it's beautiful just to behold something without necessarily having to penetrate it. And I think that's the relationship that I have with space. Wonderful to witness, wonderful to observe, but not my place to inhabit. I'm used to a bit of gravity. Well, it's in light of all these thoughts that I'm willing to celebrate today, and indeed this week, World Space Week, and I'm consecrating a moment of silence now to the unending mystery of what we call space.